So, my cat and my dog are teaching me martial art without them noticing. I basically just try to keep my leg motions synchronized with their adorable paws. So eventually they catch me learning the Kung Fu cat spirit and the Kung Fu dog spirit, and they're both like, yo, you could have just asked us. You know we won't, you know we don't mind. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I was just being an asshole. So I walk up to this restaurant and try and enter, but they wouldn't even let me through the enclosure. So the boss man comes out and says, yo, you gotta go. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why? He's like, oh, just because. So I leave and catch the bus. So while I'm on the bus, it come to a complete stop, and I see the boss man from the restaurant approaching to step into the bus. So I walk up to the door, and as it opens, I kick him right down to the ground. And he's like, yo, what in the hell was that for? And I'm like, oh, just because. So I'm playing pool with this beautiful woman, and she's like, winning. And I say to myself, yo, bad move, doggy. You must win the game. It helps you to have good luck, my man. So I step up my game, and I end up winning after all. Then this gorgeous honey's like, yo, where do you learn to play like that? I'm like, well, I think it was that ass that blessed me. This is my first time playing. So I'm at this gym looking myself in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, that's me, baby. Then this woman looks into the mirror too, and she's like, yeah, you look good, Poppy. Just don't get too close to me, or I have to take another 100 showers to smell good in the gym. And I'm like, yeah, alright, alright. So is you with me? She like, you wish. And I'm like, that's a yes, ain't it? And she like, yeah, yeah, let's go fuck. So this one day I'm using energy to see people's true colors. So I go to this concert and I see this dude in a clown suit. So he comes up to me acting like a smartass. And he's like, you can see my true colors now, eh? You a hero. And I'm like, yo, the only true color you have and that retarded outfit of yours is those shoes. But even though you still look fucked. So after I give thanks and praise for my breakfast in the morning, I go take a bite of my food. So the family dog starts barking. So I take the spoon away from my mouth and says, what? You want some too? So I go to take my first bite again into my food. Then the dog starts barking even louder. So I take the spoon away from me for the second time and I take the dog out for a walk. Little did I know, the dog had my favorite energy bar in his mouth. So I'm walking with my dog with a little bit of stress on my shoulders, but it's a dog and I love him. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes to eat in peace when I get home. So on our way back, the dog stops and gives me the energy bar. And I'm like, yo, I fucking love you, Boz. And he's like, yeah, yeah, I saw you sneak those 5 chocolate bars on your way out, so don't act all surprised and all this blessed stuff, sneaky asshole. So, I'm poaching by the lake, and I see this cop approach the shore, like in a boat. The cop says, "Hey, you got a fishing license?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's in my car." The cop's like, "Don't worry about it. We'll check you next time." And I'm like, "Alright, good," because I didn't have a fishing license anyway. So instead of the boat slowing down, it sped up, and it jetted the fuck out of there. You know why? Because they saw my pet lion sitting beside me with a bulletproof vest on it. So just as they started to ask questions, the lion gave the feds a fierce look, and they evacuated faster than Sonic the Hedgehog on steroids and energy drinks. So, I'm cleaning my room, and I see this piece of paper laying on the ground. So I go and pick it up to read what it says. And what it says was, "Yo, meet me at the spot. You know where I am when you get there." And I'm like, "Yo, how the hell am I supposed to know the spot if I don't even know how I'm supposed to know where you are when I get there? If I don't even know where the spot is?" So, I'm at Dairy Queen, and this nice looking lady asked me to buy her an ice cream. So I'm like, "Yeah, alright, I'll bless you. On one condition." She like, "Yeah, I get to take you out on a date and we smoke weed together." And she's like, "Yeah, that sounds perfect." So, you know that like she said she smoked weed and she did edibles. And I'm like, "Alright, then how come you didn't order ice cream with the marijuana? How come you didn't order marijuana with the ice cream?" She's like, "Oops." And I'm like, "Yeah, oops ain't the right fucking answer either." So, I'm making a bullshit dinner for my family. And my fam's like, "Hey, what smells so good?" I'm like, "Oh, that's just me working my magic in the kitchen." They're like, "Bullshit. That's the smell from that restaurant about a block away from us that you probably told to synchronize your cooking with them just as you started, eh?" I'm like, "Yeah, basically."